Sarah here with your digital marketing tip for this week, and we are talking about how to hire a social media manager for your business. Now, this is a topic that comes up quite a bit in several of the Facebook groups that I'm involved in, and also I get asked this and I hear feedback on the social media manager hiring process. And I wanted to share a little bit with you about some rules to kind of go by, some of the things that you need to be thinking about when you're hiring a social media manager, or think about beforehand to prepare yourself to hire a social media manager. Obviously, the more prepared you can be, the better results you're going to have in the hiring process. So today I'm going to jump in. This will probably be about 5 to 10 minutes long, and feel free to answer or post questions. Even if you can't make it on the live, you can post them after the fact if you want. And I will be answering them as we go if there's people on. So first off, what is the first kind of thing you need to be thinking about? It's preparation, really. How to prepare yourself for hiring a social media manager. And this can go really great, the hiring process, and it can go really bad. And today I'm going to share some tips with you to help it make it really, really great for you. But it's things to keep in mind. And the first one is a social media manager is really not a mind reader. And sometimes when we hire through this process or for this process or this position for our team, especially if social media is not something that's really familiar to you, we tend to leave it in that person's hands when we hire them. I know I'm at fault for doing that when I hire people to join my team. I expect that they just get up and going and they know what they're doing. But the reality of it is their work is going to be as good as the instruction that you give. So if you don't have an idea of what you really want or your goals or your initiatives, hiring a social media manager can be hard and you probably will make the wrong hire. So writing out your specific goals ahead of time is really, really important. And maybe if you're not familiar with social media all that well, you're writing out social media goals could be really tricky for you, or something that you're not even sure could happen. And in that case, I would find somebody that's a good fit for you and work through those goals together. But think about it. What is your initiative? Is it to build your page? Is it to build your email list? Is it to drive people to your website? Is it to drive people to a download? It can be to sell your products and services. What are your goals on social media? And clearly outlining those goals is going to help you in the questions that you ask when you're interviewing for a social media manager. So I'm going to really challenge all of you that are looking to hire for this position to write out what it is that you want to accomplish with your time on social media. Because if you don't have that plan and you don't have any goals, there's no baseline for people to go off of to help you. So it's really, really important that you have some goals in mind and that those goals are shared with your social media manager. Also, using those goals in the interview process can help you figure out if you're hiring the right person or if this person is qualified for the things that you need done for your business. So that's the first tip that I'm going to give you. The second tip is understanding and knowing your brand standards. This may seem like common sense, but brand standards are typically not just your fonts and your color codes or your logo. Brand standards are things that we sometimes don't think about, but they come up when you start the social media process. So like where you place your logo, what colored logo you want to place on a photo, what amount of transparency do you want on a photo, what are those things that you want? What is the look and feel of your business? And if you have strong brand standards, it's really important to communicate those to your social media manager. If you don't, it can be really hard for people to get the vision right. So, outlining what it is that you like beforehand is going to give them a really good opportunity to get to know your business and get to know what you're looking for. And when I say brand standards, there's brand standards, and then there's talking about what is it that you like? What do you want your social media to look like? Giving somebody examples to work with is really, really helpful. Hi, Nat. You're there. Really important and really helpful. So for me, when I'm building social media for a client or my team we're looking at their ideal client, their target audience, what their brand standards are, and we're creating content based on that. So understanding what that content is. Here's an example with a client. They're targeting, men and women in the age of 36 to 55. yet their idea for a graphic is someone young, bright, and vibrant. So I'm not going to be able to figure that out because I would be targeting for people that are business owners, 36 to 55, like their ideal client. But if they want a different image than that, they need to be able to communicate that with me, because I'm not going to guess that they want somebody young, vibrant, and bright to be the face of their brand, and they want their graphics designed around. So really understanding what those brand standards are, being able to communicate them, get them down in writing so that you have a template or a guideline to hand over to your social media manager and say, this is the look that I really, really like. I don't want to copy that look, but I want to emulate that look. These are the graphics that I'm really drawn to. I like bright, I like bold, I like this, that, and the other. It's really important that we're able to communicate that, because if we're not able to communicate that, my job would be to create a look for you. And I may not get that look right if I don't know what you like. So really outlining, hi Betsy, really outlining what it is that you're looking to accomplish is super, super important. The other part of this that I made myself a list because I didn't want to forget anything. Be prepared to invest time in your social media manager. I always say the first month is a little bit rough, and it is a little bit rough because I'm learning your voice, I'm learning what you like, and there's no way humanly possible I'm gonna learn that in a 1 hour call with you. It's gonna be trial and error and getting those graphics right. So in the first month, you need to be prepared to provide feedback. I would even say meet on weekly calls with your social media manager and really be invested in this time. When people hire a social media manager and then they don't have the time to communicate or meet with them and give feedback, it's not really fair to say 3 months down the road, I don't like your work, because you didn't provide that feedback and you didn't take time to give them direction. So again, this is like hiring an employee for your team. This is hiring somebody to join your team, but probably one of the most important hiring decisions, because they are going to be the voice of your brand online. So it is really crucial that you invest time in them to be able to give them feedback and show them the direction in which you want to go with your brand. Again, your brand belongs to you. So putting time into this and really dedicating time to review this with them is really, really important. Now, that said, 1 month is not enough time to have somebody running your social media engage if they are the right fit. 2 to 3 months is really, really important. You have to work through those kinks with people, and you have to be able to give them direction in order for them to be able to produce the content that you want. And let me tell you, the first month, there's a lot that goes on in the first month, and they're a contractor for you, so they're not always in your office able to hear your voice. But there's a lot that goes on. So you have to move past like that first month. I hear people all the time say, well, they're just not getting it. They're not getting it. So my question to you is, what are they not getting? And have you provided them valuable feedback on that? Because if you're just expecting them to understand that they're not getting it, they're not going to get it. Okay. Betsy says, taking the time to onboard somebody is hard. It's hard. It's like hiring a new employee. Trust me, I have 3 in the last 2 months, and it's been painful for me. But I also understand the importance of the fact that if I don't communicate what I'm looking for, they're never going to be able to do the job right. So this is really, really, really important. Invest your time. And then the other part is understand what you're hiring for. My dog's walking in. She's scared because we're building a fence today. Understand what you're hiring for. Are you looking for someone to be a content creator and post your day-to-day scheduling? Or are you looking for a specialist? Are you looking for somebody that's going to run your Facebook ads? So when someone tells me they want awareness online, and then they want awareness, and they want posting, and then they want to build their funnel, and they want to grow their email list, and they want more podcast subscribers, those are 2 different initiatives right there. And you have to be able to understand what those initiatives are, because you have to be able in the interview process to ask and understand if that person is a good fit for you. If they don't run Facebook ads, or they don't know Facebook ads, and you're trying to build a funnel, or you're trying to get more subscribers to your email list, then you're probably not hiring the right person. You probably need to look for somebody that does run Facebook ads as well as run social media, and let them tell you how they would do it for you. It's really important to not just look at it as somebody that is a social media manager can do all of these different things for you, because the reality of it is most can't. There are a few people out there that can do that, but most are not going to be able to run Facebook ads and create your content and do all of these great things under this one umbrella and do it really well and expertise. So understand what you're hiring for, and then you get what you pay for. You know, some people say they pay, oh, I get graphics for $250 a month. Great. Those are graphics. Now, those are not going to move the needle on your downloads very rarely. We all know that organic reach on social media is very slim. So if you're looking to download, if you're looking to increase downloads, you're going to need to have somebody that runs ads. And in doing that, you're going to need to have a budget for that. Ads are changing on a daily basis. You know, 2 years ago, you used to be able to run an ad for $25 and it got a ton of exposure, and that's not the case anymore. So being able to invest in what you're looking for is really important. And then understanding what you're expecting in the return of investment on what you're spending. So these are all conversations that you need to be having with your social media manager, and probably before you hire them, to understand if they're the right fit for your business. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about hiring a social media manager and really what you should be asking in the beginning. One, I just said, is, are you hiring a social media manager, or do you need somebody that can do that and ads? And if you do, you need to be interviewing with those questions. My goal is to build my email list by 150. How would you recommend somebody like myself do that? Now, in the initial process of hiring, it might even be worth your time to pay for a strategy session with that person before you hire them, so that you can understand and they're feeling like they can give you everything that they would recommend before they get started. So if I paid for a strategy session with somebody and they weren't delivering me what I thought would work, or something that will work in what I'm looking for, then obviously I'm not going to move forward in hiring them, because every social media manager that you hire is probably going to do it on a contract, either a 6-month or a year contract. That's the way it goes. So it is important that when you do find the people that you like, and in that interview process, you probably need to take it one step further and do a strategy session with them to know what it is that they are going to recommend for your business. What is the plan for your business? And typically they probably are going to want to get paid for that. So just FYI on that, but it's worth it, because you could save yourself 6 months of time if you're hiring the wrong person, right? You could save yourself maybe a year of your time if that person's not a good fit for you. What's $500 if that person is not going to be able to market your business correctly? So be willing to ask the tough questions in the interview. Also, it's okay to ask people for examples of work, to ask people for recommendations from their current clients. It is 100% okay to ask for that before you get started with somebody. Not that I'm hiring for myself, but in the hiring process, oftentimes, well, in the beginning, I didn't really think about asking people for samples of their work and to provide something. It's even okay to do something on a test run, like, hey, this is my vision. Could you make 3 graphics and I can review them? That's how I hired my last social media manager. Actually, the last 2 is, give me some samples of your work. This is what I'm looking for. Gave them a clear assignment. Go back. Let me see your examples. Now, if they were examples that I could work with, I was happy to keep that person in the loop and integrate them into the team, as long as their references checked out. If they're not examples I can work with and they're so far off my vision, that's probably not going to be a good fit for you. So interviewing is a great process, and even paying a little bit through this interview process to get some samples to know if this is going to be a good fit for your business is really important. And almost anybody's going to do that. There will be a fee involved in it, but again, it's probably less than you're going to spend for 6 months down the road or 12 months down the road if you make a bad hire. All right, ask for examples, ask for recommendations, ask for referrals from clients, and really know what you're hiring for. Now, it's also really important to understand, and this is really crucial to social media success, there has to be a plan in order. There has to be a strategy. And with the way social media changes on a day-to-day basis, on a weekly, monthly basis, that strategy is ever changing. So if the person you're hiring does not do the strategy or the planning piece with you, you do not meet to discuss that piece, they just have free reign to go about your social media, your results are probably going to be very minimal. It is super crucial that you have a plan in place, and part of what you're hiring for, in my opinion, would be a marketing and digital marketing plan. So with our clients, we meet with every client once a month, regardless, for about an hour, sometimes more, depending upon what's going on in their business. And that is always a planning and strategy. We review what we've done, we look at the results, and we're planning for the upcoming quarter or the upcoming months so that we're ahead of the game, because you cannot have a successful strategy if it stays the same. It doesn't work. A 3-month plan. Hi, Laura. Thanks for joining. A 3-month plan is perfect. So Laura Curry is a really good example in our business. She's a client of mine on the social media management side. And when we started, we were doing it by month basis. Now she's got a podcast. She's got a book. She's running workshops. We can't be planning 1 month in front of ourselves. We have to be planning 6 months, 3 to 6 months with her, because she's got so much stuff coming up, and that's the way we have to do it. So Laura and I, sometimes we're friends too. So we drink wine and meet, but we have a monthly strategy session, and sometimes we have to do more than one a month when she has stuff coming up, like her workshop. So having that person and asking those questions, do we have a planning session monthly? How long is that planning session? What do we do during that planning session? Do I get a digital marketing plan? Can you outline a calendar for me? These are important things, because if that doesn't happen, chances are you're gonna feel like you're not getting results. All right, so those are a couple tips. Does anybody have any questions? I know a couple people have jumped on. I'm just gonna look at my notes real quick to make sure I don't miss anything else. Oh yeah, and this is the one thing I did say about retainer, asking a social media manager to provide examples. But another good thing, and this is why I think the strategy session before you hire could be important, is to say, okay, if my goal is to build my email list to 500 subscribers, what are you going to recommend for my business, and how are we going to do that? Even if you don't understand social media, you understand that your goal is to get to 500 subscribers on your email list. So ask them, how are they going to do that for you? Now, I have no problem telling you that. I might recommend that we do a strategy session so that we can go deeper on that, because I'm going to need more information from you on your downloads, your offers, what you're going to do, how we're going to do that. But the reality of it is, I could tell you would know if that person's qualified for the job by just asking those questions, even if you don't know anything about social media management or social media. How do you recommend that I build my list? How do you recommend that I get more subscribers to my podcast? How do you recommend that we would sell, or the sales funnel process? These are all higher level questions. Again, this is not probably a support you're gonna get at the lower level of $350 a month. Maybe there's somebody out there that does all of that. That's probably not. So you're gonna get what you pay for. This is an investment, and a long-term investment. If you're on a small budget, that's completely fine. You can still hire a social media manager, but just know that your goals are probably going to be goals of awareness at that point. And then as you move up in your ad budget and you move up in a management fee, you're going to be able to then expand what your goals are and how you're going to get there, because you're going to have the budget to do it.